We don't have so many days left. We can't be beefing no more. We can't go to bed angry no more. We can't waste 2 days beefing. We counted the day. We only got so many days left. This is all we got. We put it in our hand, like the physical day. These are all the days we have left on this earth. We got to use every last one of them wisely. Because there's a part of you that if you don't get it checked, it's going to ruin every piece of success you ever had. And you know what? I just want to stop for a minute, just be real. I am so frustrated going on Instagram. I'm so frustrated with Instagram right now. I'm so frustrated with social media. It's so lopsided. It's so one-dimensional. You got folks on there, it's like self-actualization. Let me just watch. So food, sleep, water, whatever, clothes, safety, security, whatever, sense of belonging, esteem, self-fulfillment. It's at the top. Self-fulfillment at the top. When I watch social media, we stuck between the biological and physiological need and safety. It's like, that's all I'm seeing on the internet. And look, I'm not mad, y'all. If you could go, please don't take this the wrong way. If you could go and increase the size of your body, and that would attract a healthy man in a healthy relationship, and he gonna bless your kids, and y'all gonna get y'all life right, and y'all gonna be spiritual, man, go get 10 of them. I'm just being real. Look, do you understand the position I put myself in when I tell truth? You don't think I can get up here and lie and just say what you want me to say, and then and put my cash app up, and then you just start blessing me with money, and you just run up here and drop money all over here? You don't think I know how to do that? You don't look, I love you so much, I'm about to be demanding. So what I'm starting to see on the internet is these first two, and they acting like the first two is self-actualization. You acting like because you in Costa Rica that you made it. You acting like because you showing me a 5-star meal that you acting like you there now. You stuck on the first two. Are you stupid? You stuck on the first two, and many of you stuck on belonging, because everything you do, you gotta show it. I'm just trying to show you that it's something inside of you that's stopping you from going to the next level. You ain't got to show everything, but you gotta show everything because something in you ain't demanding it. It still got control of you. And you know how I know it got control of you? Because if you don't post, or you miss the post, or the footage got whatever, you feel some type of way. You hurt now that you couldn't count. It's not enough that you're making money. You need everybody else to know you're making money. Some of y'all are killing the game. It's not enough that you're killing the game. They gotta know you killing the game. And they ain't even nobody. You sick. You sick. You trying to show nobody that you somebody. I just want to make sure you hear.
Sheesh, that boy said you try to make nobody. Come on now. That boy E.T. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Drop in the chat where you guys are tuning in from in the world. Right? Listen. We're here. We're ready. We're going to go ahead and get it started in about 4 to 5 minutes. If you guys get 35 plus on the call, I'm going to do a giveaway. Right, so let's make sure as many people are on here as possible so you guys can find out how to enter the giveaway. Okay, family? Let's at least double up. If we can at least double up by the time we start the call in 5 minutes, then I'll do a giveaway still. Right? But if we get 35, I'll do my original giveaway. You know, we double up, I'll do a little light sum. So make sure you guys like this as well, right? I better see 8 likes, 8 viewers right now. We're going to go ahead and get it started here in 5 minutes, family. Let's run it up.
You know what I'm saying? You trying to show nobody on the internet that ain't been on no chapter of your life. You trying to show them you don't realize you sick. Am I mad that you got a Bentley? Listen to me. If a Bentley could make me right as a human, I'd go get one for me, my wife, my daughter, my son right this second. Not even lease it. I pay for that joke in cash. If them nice doors, the way they open, if that could heal the sickness that happened between me and my mom and my biological father, I'd go get 4 Bentleys right now. I'd go get 2 for myself because I'm sick and pay for them in cash and trick them jokers out. You are treating the bottom ones like they the top ones. You worshiping low-hanging fruit. What I'm trying to tell you is, when you get to self-actualization, you get it all. Why? Because most humans never get here. And when you get here, all the money is here, all the opportunities are here. People like Jesse who killing the game, you get attracted to these people, and then other billionaires, millionaires calling you because they want to be on the platform. When you get to self-actualization, the cars come with self-actualization. The house comes with self-actualization. Watch this, watch this. Best compliment I heard. Me and my wife, best compliment we heard, I don't know, in all year, 2021, I wish Willie would have told me he was gonna say it. I would have recorded it and turned it into an NFT. My man, Willie stayed the night at the crib, woke up the next morning, like, I ain't slept out, but I've never felt that type of peace. The peace ain't at the bottom. That's a Louis, that's Gucci. Peace ain't at the bottom. When you get to self-actualization, people walk in your house and feel some of their spirit that they ain't never felt before. You still on some low-hanging fruit. You on some low-hanging fruit. I'm telling you, get to the top. Get to the top. Get to the top. Get everything at the top. Everything at the top. When you get to the top, whatever cars you want, my boy Josh got a dealership. He getting the cars for me. They dropping them off at the crib. I don't even gotta go nowhere to get the car. When you get to the top, they send you the stuff. You ain't even got to go to the store to buy it. When you get to the top, grown men see you in the airport and say, I don't take pictures with grown men. I'm a man. I ain't jocking no other man. But bro, I want to get a picture with you. I want to get a picture with you, bro. I was about to lose my wife because I was on some dumb stuff, and you helped me to understand the value of my wife, and you helped me to stop playing. And now I wash dishes, and now I iron clothes. I never was taught to do that. Crying. So let's go back to the first one real quick. I just want to help somebody. Get off the internet if you can. Like, use it, it's a wonderful tool. But we stuck at everybody's showing stuff. Bruh, I'm not tripping on your car. I'm not tripping on your whatever. We blessed. As humans, we get to get up and we get to dress a certain way. When we come out, we get to show the world whatever. I want to see your crib. Like tripping because you got a Bentley. What kind of life you got? Nobody tripping because you got money. What kind of life you got? But trust me when I tell you, when you get to the top, they all gonna become. And why? Because when you get to the top, you start elevating past them. So the people that just own money, you could pass them up. Can I get some personal development stuff on? Can I see you growing in your house? Can I see you and your wife, you and your kid? Can you just be honest with me about some of the hell you're going through? Willie Moe, when you put the picture up and you was crying, I was like, praise God. When some other man who's showing all this stuff, all he got coming out, the Louis with 10 bags, why do I care about 10 bags? That ain't about to do nothing for my life and my soul. Why you keep showing me your car and your stuff? You might really be there. Can you show me how you got there? Without putting a price tag, can you show me how you got there without turning it into a program and selling me a program and you only giving me the piece of the doggone program? You ain't even really giving me the real. Can you stop manipulating me and just tell me the truth like God bless you? Can you bless me like God bless you? Why everything got to be attached to money? Why? Because
Good morning, good morning. How you guys doing? How you guys feeling? It's another day here in the cut, right? Let's get straight into it. So taking a look at Goldie. Okay, so there's one or two things that are gonna occur right now. So we took the low of the day, right? Ideally, overall, this would be that spring, this big impulsive wick, right? And as of now, in terms of even the 15-minute, in my eyes, we've gotten some accumulation as well. So I'm looking at this as it's really fucking fine about to take off. But, right, we also on the hourly, right, in terms of just really kind of following this downtrend that's just been slowly whoop, whoop, like it's just been too perfect in terms of how we've just been filling. There's just a lot of liquidity. In my eyes, this is all liquidity built up. So I'm more or less looking at the fact that we've just continued, like we've just literally been taking the lows, lows, lows. So people haven't been able to get in for buys. And the fact that yesterday we got that quick, crazy, big, impulsive wick. And then even today, right, we didn't quite break above the high of New York session yesterday. But as of right now, we've kind of created some targets for us to take. So if we're going to run higher, to me at 10:30, with that last little news drop before FOMC, I think we'll start to get a little bit more direction in terms of, in terms of the hourly. To me, what I was looking at is this imbalance fill here. So we really just have filled it a bunch of times, right? 5-6 times. So that's more or less kind of what I've looked at, just kind of observing the sell. But I'm also paying attention to the fact that as soon as we took the low of the day, right, and we got this like wick down, in terms of like a 5-minute and 15-minute, it's just going to be a matter if we respect really this area right here. This is the only area I can really see us come back to in terms of smaller time frame. In terms of the higher time frame, 30-minute, right, we got this obvious engulfing candle, and just with us now kind of failing to take this high of the day, whatever happens at the end of this hourly, in my eyes, is gonna dictate what happens, because we made a new low of the day. So either one or two things is gonna happen. A, this is now gonna be the new low of the day, and we're gonna respect it, and obviously we're gonna continue higher. We should take this high, no problem, over at about 1906. But on the contrary, right, just looking at it from just a structure standpoint, like I said, and also just looking for those imbalance fills, we can see that we got that hourly 30-minute imbalance in this highlighted box. So in terms of just seeing the reaction out of there, obviously you can see we filled it a few times. But once we broke back down here in terms of a 30-minute and broke below just this new low, this previous low that we were playing off of, in my eyes, like this could really, you could play both sides. Like I said, I really don't like the shorts right now just based off of seasonality. Like I said, I'm in shorts, but I'm not, like, this time of year, you really shouldn't expect just too much crazy bearishness, just depending on kind of what happened, right? So overall, in my eyes, like I said, with FOMC, what we really could see is just us kind of respect this high for the time being, kind of just stall out, lag. To me, I really wouldn't be surprised if we just moved sideways kind of the rest of the day. So we didn't take this high and we didn't take this low. And if we don't take the high and we don't take the low, to me, during the news, we probably take both. Or we'll like basically run out both. Like we'll wick down quickly, and if you didn't have that bottom entry, you're probably going to get tapped. I want DXY to hit 102.4 first, then hit to 103. Yeah, let's take a look at DXY. How did we close this shit? Oh, we didn't close above that high yesterday. Okay. So to me, just based off of dollar, if you guys have just been kind of overall following like the direction that we've had for dollar, just for the past, obviously, a couple of weeks or so, like truthfully, like the couple of months almost at this point, you know that this is kind of an area we've really been looking for since the beginning of July, so over a month, right? We've been waiting to see how price came back into the weekly area as well as this daily area. So my eyes, with us just failing to close above this high, even in terms of a daily structure standpoint, we're still just, this is a lower low, and this ideally would be our lower high in terms of the dollar. So what I would expect is just sweep down lower. Okay, so to me, I really think this is gonna be this push, like this, based off of seasonality, is the only thing that really I could see that would cause gold, unless like we broke above in terms of the weekly, we made a new high, and then obviously at that point we could get some retracement regardless. But in terms of everything overall, I really think that in regards to just how we're gonna play out, we're not just gonna, like, for example, like the fact that we just literally never got any type of retracement back into this area. You have to understand that this in itself is a target. Like, all of this is liquidity. Okay, so being able to understand that there's a lot of liquidity built up because we literally just ran, right? This shit just basically flew. Besides these 2-3 candles that consolidated, we just virtually ran, right? 2 candles here out of like 10 that would have been bearish, and obviously you get this big wick and then continuation. So in terms of what to expect, like I said, we've had the direction right for the last 2 months. So let's see if this area respects. But nonetheless, like I said, it just really comes down to price action and just reading what's happening in the market. Us failing to close above this on the daily, we had this one candle that wicked above. And the fact that even yesterday's candle didn't quite push, right, to me, it would make sense, like I said, to see a little bit of a retracement on dollar, right? But at the same time, weekly wise, 2 days left. This could really be like that sweep. Like, to me, like I said, in terms of the weekly, we didn't want to see price close above this area, right? But truthfully, like, we have room to come all the way up into here, right? So maybe with the news, we get that push up to then continue lower, right? Or at the very least, to me, IPA in here, we dip down. This could really be the only thing that I could see that fill. But to me, we would have to get that weekly close. Like, not even the weekly close, but the daily close. If daily close is above, to me, that would be the first sign that, okay, overall on the daily, like, we actually got that break. Because like I said, we've been bullish dollar since this weekly insufficiency in here. And just being able to identify that insufficiency, what we were able to do is just guide the direction for consecutive weeks, right? Oh, shit. Okay, look. So, because you guys doubled up the call, right, I'm going to do a giveaway. But in order for you guys to enter the giveaway, all you guys have to do is post this stream, take a screenshot, post it on your Instagram, right? You don't have to do it right now, but at the end of the call, like within the first 10 minutes, right? If you guys, I'm gonna give you guys 10 minutes to do it. Then from there, yeah, shit, I'm gonna pick somebody and I'm gonna announce the giveaway at the end of the call. So you have to stay tuned the full duration of the call, or else you're gonna miss out. But at the same time, like I said, you're not even really gonna know how you're gonna be able to really certify your spot. But in order to enter right now, for those of you that are on the call, just post this on Instagram, tag me at Cash and Pips, right? You'll be entered into the giveaway. And like I said, to me, I do a lot of giveaways, so I like giveaways. I think they're fun, and I think that the giveaways that I do are very like beneficial. Like, the people that win them, if they apply like the information, or if they just utilize the opportunity, right? It's just to benefit everyone, right? But we have news in 10 minutes. So realistically right now, I want to take a look at the indices before that, because I was looking at Nas. Oh my gosh, I told you guys Nas. Squad, I told you guys Nas. Oh my gosh, I was at the grocery store. That is crazy. No alarm when you're at the grocery store. It hit different when you're at the grocery store getting a medallion for breakfast, right? And you miss the Nas longies, right? So based off the 4-hour time frame, right, this is actually something that like I had sent to the squad, truthfully, like maybe, what was it, like hour ago, right? But in terms of that, it's just like the opportunities are always there. It's like, look, right? So Nas, you can see Nas 100 4 hour. We have this box, right? 499 to 14,099 or 986, right? And you can see, or these numbers are different, but it would virtually be right this area right here. I know the numbers are a little bit different, but obviously in terms of the area, it's the same thing. So if you guys were just a part of that free bootcamp chat, it's like you guys would have been able to position yourself in that Nas entry, right? But to me, Nas longs are looking lovely, scrumptious. To me, just initially taking a look at it, we could realistically see retracement into here. Right, so ideally to see something along the lines of this, like I really wanted to see Nas run higher. But it really just depends on what we do even prior to the news. But in my eyes, I couldn't see us not running out all of this liquidity. Up in here. So that's kind of more or less what I would hey, that's fire. That's fire. Drop an 888 if you guys are in Nas. I know some of you guys are Nas addicts. You guys love to trade that, just like me, right? I love to trade it whenever we get some nice setups, right? But overall, like I said, this is kind of where we would be targeting. We have equal highs resting above this little retail trend line, right? So we have a lot of stop losses in that area. So of course we're going to be sitting there and we're going to be looking for just these highs to get taken, right? So another reason why, like I said, this is kind of, it makes sense. If we look at kind of even why we took gold with the fundamental of the low of the day being taken, right? So creating equal lows, driving up in this London session, then towards the London session leading into this New York, we just keep pushing down. We create this potential new low of the day, right? And then we continue higher, okay? So overall, Nas, like I said, it would be potential 5-minute re-entry in my eyes. Like, this is more or less kind of like what I would be looking for, right? Something like this for us to kind of like wick back into this area, right? Obviously, you could take positions. To me, anywhere really out of this candle would be valid. But like I said, just depending on where you enter is going to determine overall just how big your stop loss is, right? To me, I wouldn't necessarily have stopped towards a low. I would have it towards this low. But what I would do still as well is I would kind of look to see how we react out of this candle, right? So with the news, obviously at 10:30, like depending on how volatile it is, you know, you might get opportunity, you might not, but this is kind of what I'm anticipating, so you don't necessarily have to take it, but I'm just showing you just hypothetical positioning for an entry that ideally, like, we missed the bottom, but it's just being able to identify where it needs to get filled and where we could potentially see price obviously revisit to. So to me, like I said, if we were to see Nas come back into here, the potential to get in with 19-point stop, even potentially less, like let's say it comes all the way down here, you're able to enter there. Now you're able to get in with a 10-point stop to this liquidity and imbalance, right? Obviously we had a liquidity to the left, we have this imbalance fill. It'd be about a 1 to 21, right? So that's something that we could potentially see. But like I said, keep in mind news is in 5 minutes, and we really could see just increased volatility. Like I said, we could sweep the whole low. To me, one sign that would really invalidate this right at the beginning of 10:30 is if we just push straight up and we attack any of these highs. Like if we take this high and we like wick up into this area, to me, that would kind of be your red flag. But as well too, in terms of the 30-minute, we do want to see it close above just this previous lower high, right? So in terms of candle closes, we do want to see this. If this doesn't close above, then in terms of re-entry, to me, it just wouldn't make sense at that point, right? So in the next 4 minutes, we need to see a close above that. So currently where it's at, like I said, it's playing around. It looks like we're a little bit above right now. So we'll really see. US 30 looks the same as well. We took the liquidity. US 30 structure looks a little bit more calm in terms of like the wicks weren't as crazy. In terms of re-entry, where I would look something like this, right? Dip back into this area. In my eyes, target first target to me that just seems very reasonable would be just this imbalance fill right in here in terms of a 15-minute. Just looking at it right off the 15-minute, that's kind of more or less what I would anticipate. Right. So to me, like I said, we could one of two things, right? One, right now, this is now the high of the day. So we captured basically all of the liquidity of today, right? We're coming into yesterday's New York session high. We failed to close above, so this could really just dump from here, okay? So if 30 doesn't respect out of here, this is going to kind of determine NAS. And if 30 does dump, then what that means is NAS will probably give us a better entry for shorts, right? Because even right now, like I said, if it doesn't close above this candle in 30-minute NAS, I wouldn't necessarily validate the buys anymore. Like I would sit there and I'd kind of be leaning more towards shorts if I were to take a position. So like I said, just kind of be a little bit patient with this one. You don't have to get in right away per se. Because to me, like I said, we could dump with what we did. Like I said, based off of structure, NAS looks like it's actually holding a little bit cleaner of a structure in terms of just breaking down, coming back, filling this imbalance. Whereas 30 right now just basically made that new high, and we still have this liquidity right above. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not we just melt out of here, or if we break down into this area and then obviously get that potential push down. But regardless, like I said, the buys, like I said, will kind of be validated in like 2 minutes, 1 minute, right? In my eyes, 30 looks like, if anything, it would be a little bit more good. I could really see, like I said, the liquidity captures is the biggest thing that I look at, right? In terms of overall what we've been doing, we've been shorting really on the indices for like the last couple of weeks, and higher time frame wise, we just really captured all of these equal lows, right? So we really just captured a lot of people that had bought, right? And then what did we do? We drove back up, and now boom, we sold back down. So in terms of this, more or less, I do want to see some insufficiency get filled up here to then potentially see it continue lower. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the fact that overall, right, we're slowly working our way down, but in terms of what we did to like get ourselves to this point, like I said, it just makes sense to see the potential for that push up. So news in 3 seconds. Let's see what happens. See anything out. So now it's on a 15-minute. I like we closed above this 15-minute area, so you could still take this position, right, anywhere out of this box. So like I said, we tapped this box right now. You could look to scale in. To me, I feel like we'll come a little bit deeper into this, but you could take a small risk, right? To me, I like it in terms of a 15-minute. 30-minute, like I said, we would have wanted to see it close above, but I'm not really tripping because it's the new 4-hour candle, right? So for breaking structure at the beginning of this 4-hour candle, that's ideally something that would be good, right? We want to see that. 30 chilling. Gold is chilling. So yeah, I didn't really expect too much, to be honest. Like, we really could start to, you know what I mean, push, but that oil consumer, I forgot exactly what it is. Let me see. Pop it up. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about in terms of news events, right, I only really pay attention to orange and red, because the yellows don't really move. But the only reason why, truthfully, I was even aware of the 1030, or like why I was even paying attention to 1030, was because whatchamacallit, it's because I was on my phone, because I normally don't even see the yellow, so that's why I just assumed it was orange. But you know, it makes sense why we didn't see too much movement. Like I said, overall with FOMC, we're probably just gonna stall out, just kind of where we're at on everything. I don't think we really get too much more, like, I don't think we'll get really too much more movement. Of course we're gonna move, but I think we're just gonna range. Like, I think we're just gonna end up moving sideways. So that's just kind of my perspective when it comes down to everything. Nas, like I said, Nas on the 15-minute looks clean for longs, but we'll see, because like I said, 30 looks like we could potentially short. So if 30 is looking like it's going to short, like I said, 30 is normally going to give us the direction, but Nas is definitely the more bullish one out of the two as of late. So we'll see. Like I said, ideally, like, I would look for a deeper push. Like, I personally didn't enter just quite yet. If it pushes a little bit deeper, like I said, I'll get in with like a 10-15 point risk, because realistically, to just get a bounce up to like here is like a 1 to 3, 1 to 4. So to me, you'll be able to break even relatively quick, because this should really just be a continuation, especially with the timing. Like I said, if we're just gonna break up leading into FOMC, you know, it makes sense to kind of do it out of this area. Gold, right, when it comes to this hourly, I don't know, like I said, this is kind of like, it looks like we're gonna pop it, lock it, drop it, but at the same time, I don't know, right? We're really just gonna have to wait till the 4-hour close, or 1 hour close. 4-hour wise, looks good to melt. So like I said, it's like, to me, we don't really have to come up higher. This IPA area that we're at is kind of like, that's really it, right? So especially if we're looking indice longs, right, shorts would make more sense on gold, as opposed to like potentially trying to sit here and re-enter into longs. But it also, like I said, this hourly candle is going to kind of determine, because in my eyes, if we're going to melt, like, this candle, this sell candle should basically engulf this buy candle. If not, like, it'll be a pretty large body. So just kind of understanding that, that's what you would want to see in terms of just confirming the shorts. You would want to see just price run. If price kind of just stalls out, I don't know, it'll be kind of interesting, right? Because 15-minute wise, like I said, we haven't taken this high of the day. Made this high today in London, right? This is currently now the low of the day here. So to me, we're not really, in my eyes, we shouldn't push all the way back down here. Like, if we come all the way back down there, like I said, we're gonna dump. So in terms of overall everything, like I said, we're kind of in the middle right now currently. So I wouldn't necessarily short. Like, you could put your stop above the high, but to me, like I said, that bitch could flip up real quick. But if you're not positioned yet, I would just sit here and wait until after FOMC, right? You have nothing really to lose, right? Sometimes the best trade is no trade. So like I said, we didn't really have too many opportunities. Like, I took a long position on gold prior to stream, right, down in like that area, right? So I just took some partials right now. Just kind of waiting to see how price reacts to see whether or not I'll have, one, the opportunity to kind of stack back on, but two, I'm not really tripping at the end of the day because, like I said, securing a little bit right now in this area. This is kind of understanding, like, sometimes when you're emotionally attached to a trade, for example, let's say you're looking for a buy. We identified clearly just why the market could and why it currently is reversing out of this area. And it's like, a lot of the times we don't want to look at that other perspective. So for me, like I said, of course I want longs based off of seasonality. Of course I want longs based off of what the dollar's doing. But it's like we're looking at the hourly, and like I said, shorts right now could really be the play. But in terms of an hourly perspective, like I said, I'm not quite confident in the shorts. I would have to see how this candle, like I said, we just need to close very bearish in my eyes. Because in terms of the 4 hour, like I said, there's nothing that's stopping us from dumping and taking all of these lows now. Like the fact that we didn't take that high yet, there's nothing that really is going to stop us besides the fact that we could just consolidate. Like I was saying, we could just, even though we're getting a reaction out of here, we could really just move sideways and create more liquidity so that FOMC, what you might see is something like this. So you might see something like that, or MIs, you're gonna see something like this. So that's more or less like what I would anticipate if we don't just melt from here. And like I said, this is kind of one of those areas where you just have to let price develop because we don't really know. In my eyes, I'm looking at this in terms of just a 30-minute even, right? We got these 3 consecutive bullish candles, right? 1, 2, 3. It's typically what we want to see, 3 to 7 consecutive candles in the direction that we want the market to go. So, of course, if this engulfs, if this candle closes where it's at, I personally think the shorts will probably continue to win until FOMC. And then FOMC, where DXY is, FOMC will really kind of determine everything because we might wick up, like I said, and then punch down, or vice versa. We might punch down to then wick up, or we could really just push and get a continuation in whatever direction we were pushing into. So it's just being able to have that food for thought, right? And not really sitting here and overanalyzing. Like I said, it's like, right now, we should have accepted the fact that if you didn't enter, ideally off of like these wicks, or even like here, if you didn't enter at any time this point, like it's too late. Like, you know what I mean? Like even right now, this in my eyes, you'd be chasing, right? Because look how many opportunities price gave you to just enter in this IPA, right? In terms of the 5-minute, see, right? We got this engulfing candle, right? We got 3 consecutive sell candles, right? Obviously, we get this a little bit choppy consolidation, but this is obviously news. News is dropping whatever's happening in terms of the distraction outside of the charts. So it's like, you have to just expect certain things in the market. Once you have experience, you'll sit there and you'll notice similarities in your wins, but then probably similarities in your losses, to be honest. You'll sit there and you probably do the same thing when you lose, or at least when you lose excessively. So you have to ask yourself, like, when you lose, like, how do you feel when you lose? Because I was listening to something today, right? And I really think that, actually, I'm going to share it with you guys. Because I've been listening to this truthfully for like the last maybe, I want to say, like week and a half. But today, like, you know how when you listen to like audio and you listen to it a bunch of different times and you just hear one part, like you hear a new part every time basically, right? So today I just caught on to a new part and I want to share with you guys, right? So it's about like 2-3 minutes, but I think this will really like apply to a lot of you that are struggling with just trading as a whole, because I think you'll realize which parts apply to your psychological approach to the markets, as well as just your belief in terms of what you're able to actually accomplish.
Stability. And what does stability feel like? Stability feels like freedom, like ease. It feels like fun. But stability is one thing, fun is another thing, freedom is another thing. So let's just explore all of them. Stability feels like confidence, feels like sureness, it feels like steady, doesn't it? And freedom feels like exhilaration, it feels like free flowing, it feels like, give us words for freedom. What does freedom feel like? Freedom, choices, no boundaries is what the absence of freedom doesn't feel like. When you say it feels like no boundaries or feels like freedom from bondage, that's not really getting the vibrational essence of it. But when you say freedom feels like, maybe there aren't even any words, but can you find the feeling of freedom? So you wake up, you've got all this money. What's the first thing that comes to your mind under those conditions? Choices. Choices to do what? Choices to do what? Choices to please yourself, yes? Choices to be what you want to be and do what you want to do and go where you want to go and have what you want to have. That freedom to be, that freedom that you are born being, that freedom that you innately are, that freedom that your inner being is standing in the middle of your vortex, gathering all of the cooperative components that will flesh out to evidence that feeling of freedom to you. So now, we've done a pretty good job of feeling what freedom feels like. And so, for a while, you are floating around in the vicinity or inside your vortex. You are in the receptive mode of it. And if you maintain that, then you know what happens with the thoughts that have already turned, those energies and vibrations that have already turned to those thoughts that you just spoke to us. You already began the creative process. You already started turning those vibrations to thoughts and those thoughts to things just with this conversation that we've just had. By the time you are shouting out the feeling of freedom, freedom, and you have captured the vibrational essence of what that means to you, can you feel the momentum of what you've got going on? And the next thing that's going to happen is you're going to get a thought about something. A thought or an impulse, they're the same thing. In other words, a feeling, a strong feeling, an urge to do something, because those thoughts are going to continue to turn to things. And you know what else? The cooperative components that your inner being has already gathered, that law of attraction has gathered, that are there with your inner being, all those people that you're looking for who will dovetail and help you along the way to what you want, they are lining up out there in your what you want to call future experience. We want to call it your now experience. They're lining up for your discovery, for your realization, for your witnessing of them. Once you let yourself feel the essence of what you're asking for, and let's just face it, you got to feel the essence of it, because you can't translate it into the reality of it yet, can you? Isn't it an essence while it's still a thought? But if you can capture within yourself the feeling of the essence of it, so that you're not feeling the lack of it because you've got the essence of it. You're now no longer feeling the absence of that money because you've got the essence of the money. You can't feel the absence of the money and the essence of the money at the same time. And if you practice that, if the essence of that money is yours, if the essence of that freedom is yours, if that's what you are broadcasting and that's what's coming back to you, oh, the power of what you have accomplished will demonstrate it to yourself over and over and over and over and over again. Abundance of all nature. Good timing will be your experience. Parking places opening for you. People who are accommodating and helpful and nice will be there. Things that you've been looking for, things that you've even forgotten that you want, will begin showing up in your experience. Handed to you over and over and over and over and over again as you stand there feeling maybe for the first time in a long time, more blessed than you've ever felt, because it feels to you, because it is true, the entire universe is assisting you in actualizing what you have put already into your vortex. Oh, so fun to be in your physical shoes. So fun to be a physical manifester. So fun to turn those thoughts to things. So fun to be the witnesser of the creative genius that is you. There is nothing that you are incapable of being or doing or having. It's just a matter of you deciding. And we want you to rest with that word for a moment, because sometimes you use the word decision incorrectly, because you think you've decided before you have found the vibrational essence of it, and you haven't. Often you are decided against the very thing that your vortex is full of. So a decision is wanting it and believing it. Until you are decisive, until you are wanting and knowing, wanting and trusting, wanting and believing, then you're not going to be the receiver of it. It'll zig and you'll zag. In other words, so many near misses all day, every day. You should see it from our vantage point. It is fun to watch. It's fun to watch as you are honing in on what you want. There it went again. There it went again. There it went again. There it went again. There it went again.
What do you guys think of that? Drop in the chat. For those of you that were taking a listen. Damn, that's how Nas open? If you missed Nas, you could potentially get back in now. It's based off of this open. I said we tapped the open of this box. I personally didn't get in. The beginning of this 15 minute, it looks like it just punched straight down. So this is ideally what you would want to see. Right? Ideally, we wouldn't want to see a close below that area right there. Right? If we push a little bit lower, like I said, we could really just fill this 5 minute, that same area, right? Which it looks like we're coming into now. So from current price would be about like 23 points, give or take. Right? So you could potentially take entries on that. Right? Small risk, just because I said with 30, right? It's really a little bit of divergence, so we're just kind of banking on the fact that this will be bullish, right? Versus 30 being bearish right now. Because like I said, 30, we have to really see how we react out of this 15 minute, 30 minute area down here. To me, that will kind of dictate whether or not we'll go higher. In my eyes, I do want to see that get filled. The indices are very good at filling IPAs and coming back and mitigating, especially the same day. Like, I find it very rare you'll kind of miss like an entry that you're taking like the same day. Like if it buys at like 10:30 or something like that, or like 9:30, right at 9:30 we offer buys, like you'll typically get a re-entry at 11:30, right? Even like 12:30, right? Maybe not ideal trading hours, but you're nonetheless going to get an opportunity, and it's just being able to capitalize off the opportunity instead of sitting there and just forcing opportunities that you think are ideal, but they're not technical. Like, they're not technical analysis based. They're more emotionally based. So, yeah. Shit, if you were to enter Nas, like I said, it'd be about like a 20-point stop, right? Give or take, depending on where you had your stop loss. So, just obviously manage your risk accordingly. Like I said, you could take a smaller risk on that. To me, like I said, I like the idea of Nas pushing up just to take these highs. Let's take a look at S&P for Antoine. Let's see. Yeah, like this, I don't know. Could really do anything. This just looks scary. To me, in terms of overall, just looking left to get right, it looks like we obviously will probably continue to break down, but just looking at it, we have a big imbalance in here. Like I said, this is like the trading range that we're trading in. We have some consolidation. So in terms of S&P, what I could see potentially is this. Truthfully, 30 might be the lagger. So 30 might actually be like the safest type of entry that we'll find. Because like I said, S&P engulfed. We pushed down. This is kind of like the same thing that like gold is doing right now when it's kind of like playing in between the high of the day. This is literally like dead ass the same shit as gold, right? We consolidated, swept the low, popped back up. We didn't quite take the high, but now we're kind of reacting in and about that area, right? So S&P overall, I could see really making its way higher. Nas, like I said, you should be in. Looks like a clean bounce out of there. Quick little 17 points. Drop an 888 if you guys got into Nas, right? If you guys were able to position yourself. Ideally, if you missed it, what we would look for, 3 minute, this engulfing candle, right? If we were to engulf, ideally this last sell candle, what we could see is potentially us push down. But you have to understand too, we still didn't come fully into this 5 minute body. So what we could also see is still price come a little bit deeper. So don't kind of be scared if price comes lower, right? You could even potentially reduce your stop, right? You could have your stop loss a little bit tighter. Like I know I personally got about a 10 pip stop. I have my stop like literally right at the body of this, because to me, if it pushes into here, I think it'll probably wick a little bit below the body. So that's what I would be anticipating. But you know, it looks like we definitely have a couple people that are in Nas, right? So in terms of where we would look to potentially partial out or take our first little TP, this high, right? If we fail to break above this candle, then in my eyes, I would just look to kind of break even and just let the rest of it ride. But once we take this high, like I said, ideally from that point, from entry, it'll be about 40 to 50 points. That's about 1 to 5, right? If you had like the 10-point stop, if you had a little bit more of a stop, like I said, ideally overall, this is our target, the 1 to 16, higher into this 1 hour point of interest to then potentially see us actually continue lower. What's gold doing? The gold dump. But yeah, like I said, gold might actually just do what we kind of drew out in terms of sideways movement. Like I said, can't really get excited over, like, to me, I wouldn't really be confident that price is gonna move until we close above this high or until we ran this low. Like that'd be the only thing that would make me confident right now. All of this quick, yeah. To me, we're gonna consolidate in my eyes. We can see 30, like I said, 30 might not even get back down here. Like I said, in terms of the divergence, it just looked like it had the cleanest potential to break down. Everything else looked like it was already just low down. This more or less looked like we could potentially just wick back into this right away. To me, it's not to invalidate this. It would still be valid. Like, I would only kind of invalidate this if we, like, popped above this area and we took these highs. If we did that, then that's where I would kind of more or less, you know, I would sit there and I would potentially then be looking shorts, right? Just if we were to take all of these highs over here, all of that liquidity. So that's what we could expect on 30. All right, so it looks like right now we're just going to continue higher. Like I said, overall in the indices, that's what our bias is. Looks bullish, in my opinion. Right, S&P even, 15-minute, we broke above slower high, right? And then what do? You see we wick. It's no coincidence where we're wicking back into. Okay. Institutional area, the start of that drive down. This is what broke that 15-minute structure, right? In terms of like a 3-minute, 5-minute, 2 even. Looks like smaller little insufficiencies, even in terms of the 5-minute, right? S&P wise, we might come inside there. fill that little IPA. Right, so that could be something that we see. Nas did a 3-minute engulf, 3-minute engulfed. Okay, it looks lovely. Like I said, once we take this high, you guys can look to break even. You don't have to partial. Like I said, you could just move your stop loss to break even, set your take profit there. The only reason why I would say maybe secure some partials is because of FOMC, right? But if we fail to break above just this high, right, this candle, really either of these candles, like if we wick into there, even right now, like we could potentially break down, right? So you could look to potentially reduce your risk. And by reduce risk, I just mean kind of like adjust your stop loss a little bit higher. So let's say you had your stop loss down here at 17. You know, you could, if you entered really like at the bottom, like in this area, you could break even. If you entered on the wick, you could break even in my eyes. If you entered anywhere above the wick, then more like, let's say you entered somewhere in here, it's like now I would just kind of cut my stop to like maybe like 15,020, like, because realistically you probably had it down here before, like 25 points give or take. So now maybe you cut it down to like 15, right? But ideally that's why you don't want to try and get in late. That's why when we have these areas highlighted, like, you ideally want to take it. Like I said, we didn't take it initially when it came here, but then it came back down again, right? And it actually gave us an opportunity. Like I said, I didn't take this first opportunity. We bounced up, but you can see we came back, and now, you know, a bunch of us were able to get in because maybe the few of you that took this initially, maybe you missed the first move. Okay, gold, like I said, it just really looks like it's gonna consolidate and chill. I couldn't see it moving. Now it looks like we're probably gonna hit TP pretty quick. If I'm being honest, like with just how this 5 minute, like it just, to me, I wouldn't be surprised if like literally like boom, right now we hit TP, that TP1. Right, so like I said, even with like a 14, 15 point stop, which was, you know, being pretty safe, you can see just the power of R&R, right? Because this is not even anything crazy. This is really the high of New York. This is not even the high of the day. If you were really playing the high of the day, which in my eyes, I think is an easy target, but the only reason why we're looking to partial, like I said, is because there's FOMC. So we might just wick above that, and like we might just wick above this and then fall, right? But at the same time, like I said, I do want to see all of this liquidity get taken. So overall, break even once we close above here. You don't have to partial, but this is where overall my TP I would be looking to target, right? So as of right now, like I said, if you're in NAS, should be up 30 points, right? You should be up a little 1 to 4. So shit, not too shabby, right? Coming on to the end of the hour, right? I feel like we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up here. In terms of that, I'll kind of update the trades as we go along. Like I said, once we get to 15,077, let's look to break even. Even right now, you could look to break even. You're up 30 points. If you risk 10 to 15, right, you're up anywhere from a 1 to 2 to a 1 to 3. Right, to the highs will at least be a 1 to 3. Like I said, there's a lot of liquidity built up in here, so we really could see price punch into there and then melt, right? So with current price action, like I said, we look very clean. But in terms of the giveaway, okay, so if you want to enter the giveaway, like I said, all you have to do is take a screenshot of you being on the call, right? Tag me in it, and you'll be entered in a giveaway for a book, right? I'm gonna pick a book that I feel like will benefit just your development in terms of being able to shift your perspective. So, you know, I'm gonna give you one of my personal favorite titles, but there's not a lot of people right now. I'm looking at my Instagram, to be honest. So, you know what I mean? You guys have 10 minutes really till after the call, right? We have TP, get and hit. I want you guys to go drop in whatever chat you're hit, TP, whatever chat you're in, TP Nas hit, TP1 hit, right? We're about to hit TP1. So let people know. Shit, if you miss out the call, you're missing out on a quick little TP one. You know, for those of you that I talked to this week, I talked to a few of my guys on my team. You know, a couple of you just telling you to be more aggressive. So, you know, maybe this was your chance. You were more aggressive. Maybe you were confident. You were able to take a position. So maybe you're content with closing a bit right now, or closing all of it right now, just because, you know, you caught that little banger move, right? You know, why sit here and potentially risk a loss at least, right? Like I said, if you really got a decent entry, you could really break even. But shit, yeah, in terms of that, like I said, gold probably falls if the indices continue higher. But to me, the reason why I think it might be a head bust is because I think the indices are just gonna buy to sell. So to me, what we could see on gold is sell to buy. But there's nothing really besides like this little 15-minute area that we kind of already filled. Like we have this teensy little IPA. So this could be deadly right here. To me, I feel like we could come back and wick that and really go. So this could even be FOMC where we come back to. Right? Because let's say, for example, we like continue to push up or we just consolidate right above this area. What we could potentially see during FOMC, right, is an attack on this last down candle, right? These last consecutive pushes down. Of course, this candle right here, we had this wick. So this IPA, like I said, at the very least is where I could see price coming. Right? It's like ideally, like I said, you're looking to take this for a higher time frame. But this would kind of be what it would look like. Like I said, it would be a quick wick down. It wouldn't be anything that took long. Like I said, it would be a wick that we might wick into it more than once. But in my eyes, we should really just continue to print up if that's the case, right? This is the only thing that we could really come back and fill in my eyes. Besides that, like I said, we should just really continue to go up. Like, there's just so much fucking liquidity. All of, like, I don't know if you guys understand. Like, I'm looking at this as like a jackpot right here. Like, everything. All of these highs I'm looking at. Like, this is all liquidity. It's like a mountain. It's like it just keeps going. It never stops. Like, look at how many times I have to zoom out. It's like, you can't even see the top. Right? So this, all of this liquidity. So this high up here is about 1956. So that's just food for thought when it comes down to Goldilocks, right? So, you know, these could be potential re-entry points. For me, like I said, this is the benefit of being able to position yourself down here. Like, I wouldn't necessarily look to position myself into here unless maybe I set a limit and it was super low risk, just because of FOMC. Like I said, we could just take the whole low, or even just wick it. There could be crazy spread. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of bullshit that happens in trading when it comes down to like brokers, order books being filled. If you don't understand slippage, like I said, you could get burned in more than one way just from being unable to kind of pay attention and focus, right? So with that being said, family, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I love and appreciate you guys. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to DM the winner of the giveaway. I'm going to go ahead and post it on Instagram after it's done as well. But I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. We're going to be back live tomorrow, and more than likely 9 times out of 10 we're going to be back Friday too. Okay, family? So in terms of that, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to catch you guys on the flip. Peace.